What is up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. We already got Alex in the house. Got fishing in the Southeast. What is up? We're going to be talking about UFC 251. We're going to recap the fights. We're going to talk all the way from Yuri and Volkman all the way up to Jorge and Usman today. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about the press conference, some stuff that Dana White said that I want to touch on. Thought was pretty cool. And I'm going to throw in 3 tips or action steps at the end to get started in real estate. So anybody that's interested in getting started in real estate, make sure you stick around to the end. So I'm going to give you guys 3 tips. 3 tips. Let's give everybody a second to join in. Let me know where everybody's from. I already know Alex is in the house. Christopher, what's up, man? Happy Sunday. We'll be talking about those fights last night. Some good ones, man. Some good ones. Yeah, what's up, Big Bill? Big Bill's back. Let me know where you guys are chiming in from today. I'm in beautiful southern San Diego. Man, 75 and sunny out today. Sun's out. Beaches are packed. It's beautiful out today. This video is brought to you by Rockstar. Sugar-free. Yeah, right. I wish. Yeah, we'll talk about the Max Holloway and Alex Volkanovski fight here in a minute. Ooh, in and outs coming from Phoenix. North Carolina's in the house. Philly. What's up? Some good boxing in Philly. Philadelphia. Eric's from Georgia. Nice. We got Georgia in the house. Illinois. Nice, man. Nice. Hey, if you guys hear any kids in the background today or any dogs, that's my son's back in town. My dogs are in town as well, so you might hear a little barking in the background. It's all right. Brooklyn, New York is here. Riverside, California. What's up, baby-o? Yeah, I'm in San Diego right now, man. So California, man, it's beautiful out. Respect from Israel. Dang, nice. Joining us from Israel. What time is it in Israel right now? SLC, Utah. Nice, man. Nice. Heck yeah. Yeah, if you're just joining in, guys, we're going to talk about UFC 251 last night, fight recap. I'm going to talk about all the main cards, Paige, Alex, and Max, and obviously Jorge, Peter Yan. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about that, the press conference. Dana White was interviewed a lot for like 15 minutes. Watched that this morning. It's a little interesting. And I'm going to give you guys 3 tips towards the end. We're going to talk about getting started in real estate investing, 3 action steps. So stick around. Let me see. We got UK's in the house. 21 p.m. here? I'm not sure what that was that military time. I don't even know what that is off the top of my head. Yeah, we're going to talk about Rose. What's up, Nina? Nina's joining us from Sweden. What is up? In and out. How many fights are left on my Bellator contract? I have 2. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Masvidal fight. Adam's back in the house. What's up, Hassan? Adam's a defending champion, and so is Alex. If anybody's got any specific questions, make sure to just smash that super chat and chime in. Drop an elbow. Hey, if you break your phone, man, send the bill to UFC or Bellator. 9 p.m. Okay, so it's 9 p.m. in Israel right now. Dang, that's tight, man. Respect to joining all the way from Israel. I love it. Poland's in the house. Awesome. Thank you, Cam. Cam says videos are awesome, inspiring, and to be smart with money. Yes, man. We talk a lot about finance at this channel. Obviously, mixed martial arts, fighting. The goal of the channel is to educate, inspire, and maybe entertain. Hopefully, do a little entertaining, right? Make it not too boring. What's up, Josh? South of France is in the house. I love it, man. I love it. That is dope. India's in the house. Crazy. All right, so let's start off with what are we grateful, guys? What are we grateful for this morning? It's Sunday. at least here in Southern California, depending on what time zone you're on and where you're at. But I'm grateful for the sun being out. I'm grateful for my health, being able to wake up and connect with all you guys, man. Grateful for the coffee in my stomach. Grateful for the fights last night. And I'm also grateful for my fight coming up. I have a fight coming up next month, beginning of August. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Let me know what you guys are grateful for. Afghanistan's in the house. Dang. What's up, Scott? Peace from Afghanistan. You taking off, or you just saying what's up? Man, you military, Scott? Oh, mobility coming in today. Coming in, smashing that super chat. So far, he's the champ today. Hey, Myles, are you in the UFC 4 video game? Hope you are getting some money. I saw your name in it. Man, I honestly did not even check yet. If I'm in the UFC 4 video game, if my name's in it, then I am in it. And as far as getting money from the UFC game, I haven't received any paychecks anytime recently. And if you haven't checked out my video, I did like a breakdown mobility of how much money the UFC paid me to be in the EA Sports video game. So make sure to check that out. It's on the channel. But I personally, man, I haven't even checked out the game yet. So I'm not sure if my name's in it, then I'm probably in it. And I wonder how that works. When I signed that contract to be in the game, I wonder if that means they can just like continue using my character for as long as they want, or if there's a time period on that. But great question, Mobility. And so far, it's a super chat champ. So shout out Mobility today. Grateful that he didn't buy the pay-per-view, Adam said. Okay. Alan says he's grateful for Bellator. Yes, man. Yes, me too. I'm super grateful for Bellator. They're firing it up too, guys. Bellator's starting fight cards. I believe the 24th is the very first one, July 24th. So stay tuned. And Bellator is getting rocking and rolling. Mobility today. Okay, thanks. I hope they take care of you. Yes, man. Yeah, that would be sweet too. I agree, man. I agree. If people are in the fight game, I think they should get some percentage of all the sales, right? I mean, makes sense. But I don't know. I signed that contract when I first got into the UFC, and I'm sure it's all the leverages for the UFC, and they can kind of pay and do whatever they want. So who knows? Maybe I'll get a check in the mail. That'd be sweet. Alex coming in, hitting the super chat already. Alex is a defending super chat champ. I think Dean beat him out last week. Dean Hollywood Nasser. So Alex, let's see what he's got to say, guys. Can Mike Perry take Michael J. White? Oh, man. So I heard that Michael J. White, I didn't verify it, but I heard he called out Mike Perry saying he can beat Mike Perry up. I think Michael J. White is athletic, and I think he's got some martial arts training, but I don't see him beating Mike Perry, man. Mike Perry's high level. Mike Perry, this is what Mike Perry does for a living. I see Mike Perry breaking Michael J. White. But it's easy sometimes to sit on the outside, especially somebody like Michael J. White, who's been in the entertainment business. I bet it's easy for him to sit outside, watch Mike Perry fight, and try and say, oh, this guy does this wrong, or, oh, I would do this to Mike Perry. But I'm telling you, from when you're watching a UFC fight and then you're actually in the cage fighting, totally different experience. Because I've done both, personally. I've fought in the UFC, and I've been a fan of the UFC, and I've watched it on the outside. When you're in that cage, totally different feeling, man. Totally different feeling. So I think Mike Perry would break Michael J. White. But great question, Alex. Always coming in with those random questions. I love it. Warmir's back. He says he's grateful for I'm going to butcher his name, man. Gegard Mousasi. I believe that's how you say it. GSP is the GOAT. Okay. A little bit more. What are we grateful for, guys? What are we grateful for? Preach it. Yeah, man. For real, people don't understand what it's like being inside that octagon. It's a totally different feeling. Even when you go to a fight, you go to a UFC event and you sit cage side, obviously that's a different experience. You're like, wow, like this feels a lot different than watching it at home. But compared to actually being in the cage, man, is that's the craziest experience of all. And it's a lot harder than it looks, guys. I'll leave it at that. Fighting in the UFC is a lot harder than it looks. Oh, man. Yes, and Mobility says smash that like button. Just crush it. High kick it. Headbutt it. I don't know. Eye gouge it. Get it. So yeah, I'm grateful for just being alive today, guys. Families are back in town. A beautiful day, Sunday. Just thinking about, what I want. What do I want out of my life? Who do I want to be? Who do I need to be today? And just reminding myself, like with YouTube, man, it's a slow process. We're building up the channel here, but I really want to make this channel great. I want to inspire people all around the world. I want to connect with people all around the world. I want to help educate people from my experiences. So I get to do that today, man. I get to do that today, and what a blessing! What a blessing! Oh, Big Bill coming in town. So far, I think Bill and Mobility are tied up, and Bill just says he's supporting the channel, man. Thank you, Big Bill, my man. He's a diehard, always coming in on Sundays and supporting the channel. Big things coming, Bill. Big things coming, Big Bill. There we go. There we go. Okay, so let's get started. So we got Yuri versus Volkman last night, man. 205 pounds. Volkman, top 10, fought for the title. Lost to Cormier, 7th in the world. And then you got this, I believe it's pronounced Yuri. It's Jiri. He comes in awkward, man. Awkward. This guy, I thought he was gonna get knocked out in like the first minute because his hands were down. He kept doing this weird thing with his wrist. Totally goofy, man. Totally goofy. Oh, Big Bill coming back in. Just want to jump ahead on that super chat. Bam, dude. Yeah. Big Bill's in the lead right now. So, Big Bill's there towards the end. He's a super chat champ. I'm gonna get him in on a upcoming video coming up. And man, supporting that channel, Big Bill. I love it. So Yuri comes in awkward, and Michael Bisping was talking and saying this guy was lifting weights the night before the fight. So I kind of dig that, though. I like the guy's mentality. He's crazy. He doesn't care what people think. It seems like all he does is martial arts, Yuri. And man, he knocked out Volkman bad last night. Came out in that second round, head kicked him, and had him rocked. Stayed on him, and he did some good shifts. Like he shifted left, shifted right, right hook. Flatlined Volkman, man, and that was impressive. Volkman was out, nasty KO. Yuri's first win inside the UFC. Oh, Christopher coming in, hitting that super chat. Christopher says, just a little something for you, kid. Put in his account. Yeah, man. Yeah, Christopher. I'm just gonna I take all the super chats and any of the income we make, and I just invest it back into the channel, man. So thank you for supporting the channel, and we'll keep kicking out awesome content. I want to get some new tools also for the channel, so we'll be putting it towards that. And man, respect. Thank you, Christopher. So what'd you guys think last night of Yuri knocking out Volkman? I want to see. So we said if Yuri fights Dominic or Rakic, he gets smoked. Okay. Finna said had $25 on Volkman. Yeah. I wonder what were the odds on that one. I wonder what that was. Yeah, 25. Yeah, so you lost some money on that one. I'd imagine Volkman had to have been the favorite in that fight. So I mean, that was impressive to me. I mean, kid's first win in the UFC against a top 10 guy, number 7 in the world. Volkman's no joke, and they tested him right off tops. Yes, Adel. Yes, man, that was a nasty knockout. Flatlined him. Right hook. Boom. Out cold, man. That was nasty. Stunning KO. Yes. I'm not fighting on the 24th. Nope. Not fighting on the 24th. So I think that Yuri did a great job his first fight in the UFC. I see him having trouble if he fights Reyes. If he fights people that are step up in competition, I think he really needs to get a little tighter with his defense. So I'm interested to see how he does as he fights tougher guys. But last night, Yuri killed it, knocked out Volkman vicious fashion, got the knockout of the night bonus, And UFC loves that, man. UFC loves when you come in there and you go for it, and obviously you knock somebody out in cold fashion like that, dude. Volkman's knocked out, but Yuri's he's got that bonus, man. He's gonna get another great opportunity. Maybe they might push him closer to that title quicker than, sooner than later. He beat number 7 in the world. What's next? Maybe number 5. So I want to see how he does against the top 5 guys in the world. Because his defense, he did look a little open. That's my only thing with Yuri, man. He looked a little open. If somebody timed him a little bit, I believe Yuri got rocked in that first round too. So, as you get higher up in those ranks, your defense becomes very important, man, because the guys at the top level, they're all good offensively. So you got to have some good defense as well. So yeah, I thought that was a great fight though. Great fight. So let's move on. So we got Paige versus Ribas last night. Paige versus Ribas. Right off tops, this is a tough fight for Paige. I mean, she's been out a year. Ribas is 12-1, and what was it, a 600? Paige was what, a 600 underdog to Ribas last night? That's insane. That's huge odds. So you got Paige coming off of a year layoff, injuries, hasn't been active, and she's coming in and she's fighting a girl on paper that is a lot better than her. So that right there, a lot of adversity up front for Paige. She came out and she got dominated. She got, I was looking for her to throw the headlock, Paige, but Ribas came out, hit her in the headlock, had her kind of tied up, ended up doing some transitioning, and locked in an armbar and submitted Paige VanZant in the first round. Super impressive for Ribas. Big win for her. I think it was an easier win for her, but as far as marketing goes and getting her name out there, a win over Paige, people know Paige. So that's huge for Ribas's career. So props to Ribas. I wonder what happens to Paige now. Obviously she's coming off some losses. It seems like she still wants to fight. She still wants to be in the game. I think she's going to be in a good position, though. Even though she's coming off losses, she's a free agent. And Dana White last night even said on the press conference, somebody asked him specifically, Paige wanted to try free agency. And Dana basically said, yeah, I think she needs to try free agency. So I think that shows that Dana White and UFC, they don't need her. But I would be lying if I think that Dana didn't want her. I don't think Dana wants to pay her the money that she wants. I think Dana knows, like, hey, she's a free agent now, so she's going to ask for more money, whether she's coming off of losses, whether she hasn't performed in a while, she doesn't fight very much, whatever. She's still a big name compared to a lot of the other fighters. So I think Paige could go to Bellator. I think she could go to, maybe ONE FC, PFLs. And I think she can get more money than she would make in the UFC. I think Paige can get more money in other organizations, even if she would have won. And UFC would have been like, okay, we want to pay you more money because you're on a winning streak. I still think Paige could get more money outside of the UFC, even though she's on a losing streak. That's my personal opinion. I feel like Paige is there's been a lot of money invested into her marketing wise. I mean, she's been on Dancing with the Stars. She's been all over the place. UFC's put a lot of money into her marketing. So I think Paige is going to be all right, even though she didn't win. She does need to keep training, though, and get a W underneath her belt. And props to Ribas. Great win for her. I think she's going to be one of those girls that are coming up. You're going to see a lot more of. All right. Next fight. Rose Thug versus Andrade. Wow. Rose Thug versus Andrade. I loved it, man. I'm a huge fan of Rose. I'm a huge fan of everything Rose kind of puts herself through, everything she's accomplished. I thought it was a great fight, man, all around the board. I gave the first 2 rounds to Rose, and I thought, kept a distance. She cleaned her up striking-wise. The 3rd round, I think Rose got a little wild, and she took a lot of damage. Andrade turned it up, landed some big shots, had her rocked, got a takedown. But I had it 2-1 for Rose, and she got the split decision. So, man, props to Thug Rose, man. And I just want to say the judging last night sucked. Horrible judging. there was the two welterweight guys that fought last night. What I don't remember their names off the top of my head. One was a Brazilian guy and one was a Russian guy. And I thought for sure the Brazilian guy won. He rocked the Russian guy. I think he did way more damage, right hands, and they gave it to the Russian guy by decision. So Zaleski, yes. I believe he was Russian off the top of my head. But I thought he lost, man. I thought he lost easily. And the Brazilian guy, I want to say, was it Santos, maybe? Yeah, Dos Santos. Yes. Muslim. I'm gonna butcher these up, but I'm gonna go for it. Muslim Salkanove versus Dos Santos. Yes, that was a robbery, in my opinion. That was a robbery, guys. I thought Dos Santos won that. Oh, Alex, the defending Super Chat champion, is coming in with a question, guys. Let's see what Alex Chu has to say. If Triple C beats Volkanovski, does that make him the GOAT? What do you think when he called Cruz Dominique recently? I think if he comes in and he beats Volkanovski, that makes him a 3-division champion. Nobody's ever done that. I think that's status for a GOAT. I mean, he could claim he's the best ever. You win 3 world titles simultaneously? Yes. And what do I think when he called Cruz is this how you say Dominique? I think he's just taking shots and being Triple C, man, trying to rustle some feathers. But great question, Alex. I hope Triple C comes back, man. I hope they pay him the money he wants and he comes back and whoops some butt. That's what I think. Oh, Double A coming in with a good question here. Let's see what Double A has to say. How can the UFC make the judging better? Okay, so first off, I think the UFC, the judges need to have some type of training, and it's outside of just boxing. I think they need to have some type of martial arts training, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, striking, not just boxing. And I also would like to see judges that maybe have a little experience in mixed martial arts, if possible. Find those. And I think the judging criteria needs to be a little more specific. So exactly, what are we looking for? Just a little more specific, because some of it's very generic. Octagon control, aggression. Okay, aggression. You see some guy coming forward the whole fight, but he gets countered, and they give it to the other guy countering. So I think this needs to be a little more specific for the judging, and I think that would help the judging criteria. So great question, Double A. Great question. So Rose and Andrade, I thought it was a great fight. What did you guys think? Did you guys like the fight? I was happy to see Rose come back, avenge that loss. Now she's in title shot contention. They were really pushing for Rose and Lee to be the next matchup, and I think that's an exciting fight, man. I think Rose Thug is a good matchup, and it will be a good fight against Lee. I'd be that Z or Lee. How do you say that? Yeah, Jessica murked her in the last round. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Rose took a lot of damage in that third round, man. Third round. I would like to see 5 rounds, Double A. Yes, Rose versus Andrade for 5 rounds. I would like to see that. Scott says he thinks the judges were correct on the fight, 2-1. Zhang, yeah, Zhang will kill Rose. That's what Alex thinks. Weili is a beast. Yeah. I mean, I think on paper you'd have to give the advantage to Zhang, but I don't. It's hard to count out Rose, man. It's hard. I mean, look what she did to the Boogie Woman. That girl was undefeated. Champion. Came out there and knocked her out in the first round. So I don't sleep on Rose. I would love to see the fight. And I think she has a great chance against Zhang, man. I really think. Rose will lose in 5. Okay. Yeah. The girls are. Yeah, they were very tough last night, man. They showed a lot of toughness, Chris. I agree. Jerome, hey man, respect, brother. Thank you for chiming in here. Great to have you here on the live stream. Joanna blamed the weight cut for their knockout. Listen, when you win or you lose, there's always adjustments, things you could have done better, things you could have you could have you did great, things you need to work on. But at the end of the day, you win and you lose. That's what it is. So I think that's an adjustment that she had to make for their second fight, Joanna. But obviously in the second fight, Joanna got beat up for 5 rounds. So it wasn't just the weight cut. I think Rose is just a better fighter on those nights. Adam Hassan coming in. What's up, Adam? Adam says, train BJJ in kickboxing or directly to MMA. Okay, so it depends where you're at in your career, Adam. If you're just starting out, I would just train BJJ and kickboxing. I would just focus on those, getting better at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing, and then after a year or two, transition into MMA. If you already want to get, you already got some training underneath your belt and you're getting ready for a fight, specifically go to MMA. So great question, Adam. Great question. So yeah, I thought that was a great fight, Andrade and Thug Rose. I'm excited to see what's next for Thug. All right, next one. We have Jan versus Aldo. Man, I got this pick right. I really did. And I seen this fight going, and it went the way I thought it would go. Whoever would win this fight, I thought, would be the one to push the other fighter back. And you've seen it happen. You've seen when Jan came forward and pushed Aldo back, he tore him up, man. He tore him up. Had a great first round, kicking, got a takedown, hit him with a body shot. And I thought that it was going to be over. I thought, damn, Aldo is hurt. He's hurt to the body. Jan smelt it. But Aldo, like a champion that he is, he came back out in that second round and started pushing back Jan a little bit. They had a great round. And the third round was very close, pushing back and forth. And then in that fourth round, you've seen Aldo starting to fade, man. To me, he started fading. And I think Jan really picked up on that. Jan was like, I smell that blood. And Jan kept pushing, ended up hurting him in the fourth round. Aldo survived. And then we get to the fifth round. To me, going into the fifth round, Aldo looked like he was hanging in there, like he was tired. This is how it looked to me. Aldo was in shape, but he didn't have any reserves, man. He didn't have any reserves. Like, he was tired, which you're in the fourth round of a title fight, you're going to be tired. But it just seemed to me like Aldo did not have any more boosters. Like, he couldn't boost. Like, he was just basically hanging on. And Jan smelt that, man. Jan dropped him with a right hand, and then from there, man, just ground and pounded him in a dominating fashion. Like, beat him up bad, punished him, And I thought, horrible stoppage. I thought that fight, it was kind of tough to watch, to be honest, because there was a point there where you could tell Aldo just didn't want to tap out, and he was just like, he was literally just covering up like this, taking shots, bam, 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 boom, boom, and just horrible damage that it shouldn't even been there. And the referee's sitting there looking at him going, oh, you got to move, you got to defend yourself. And Aldo would roll over, and Jan would just stay on him, keep pounding. You got to move, you got to defend yourself. And just getting pounded. And this went on for probably a good 2 minutes until finally the ref stopped it out of nowhere. He could have stopped it for that exact same position 2 minutes before. So Aldo took a lot of damage that he did not need to take. And I thought that was a horrible stoppage. But a great win, man. A great win for Peter. And, man, kid's the truth, right? He just broke Jose Aldo. I mean, he really did. Jan is a killer. Yeah, Sean, I agree. And, to me, guys, it really seemed like that weight drop really affected Aldo in the fourth and fifth round. I think when you come to these top 10 guys, these top 5 guys, and you're getting into these fourth and fifth round fights, that's where conditioning comes into play, man. That's where nutrition, that's where you need to have reserves. You need to have reserves, because when you're both are tired, sometimes it's just who can keep pushing. And it just seemed to me like Aldo, man, he got clipped a couple times, but seemed like he was a little flat. Like he didn't have reserves. And I wonder if that's from the weight cut, because he looked a lot bigger than Peter. And I wonder if he cuts a lot of weight. You know, and even if he doesn't cut a lot of weight, I wonder if he diets so much and he's so malnutrition that that it shows up in those 4th and 5th rounds, guys, where he doesn't have anything left. So I would say what's next for Jan? I think it's Sterling. I think Sterling's next for Jan. I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously Dominic Cruz is out there. He's coming off of a loss, but you know he's got a big name. Cody Garbrandt's coming off of a big win. I could see that fight. Him and Peter have some beef a little bit too. I could see Cejudo jumping back in the mix, but I think right now Aljamain Sterling's next. Double A coming in, hitting that super chat. Bam, right there. And I believe Big Bill is still the champ today, guys. Big Bill going for that title, going for it. So let's see what Double A has to say right now, though. How bad does the weight cut drain you? Weight cut sucks, man. Weight cut sucks. If done right, I don't know if you guys seen the video that I did on this channel explaining and exposing the weight cut, but there's a whole process to it, Double A. And if done right, and if you're not at a weight class where it's too low, it doesn't drain you. But if it's done wrong, or if you're at a weight class that's just too low in general for you, it will drain you, man. Those lack of calories, the weight cut, if it's done wrong, the whole week, if you don't cut the weight and rehydrate, man, it'll drain you. It'll drain you. I think it said like if you're 10% dehydrated, or not 10%, if there's like 2 or 3% dehydration in you, that could cause like 20 or 30% performance issues. So it needs to be done correctly for sure. All right. So, what did you guys think? I thought it was a good fight between Aldo and Jan for sure. I wonder what's next for Aldo as well. Cody versus Jan? Yeah, I agree. I think that'd be a great fight, man. I think those two banging. I think Jan's a little more mixes it up a little more kicks, tight D. Anytime, Double A, anytime. Jessica says great fight. Oh, Classified says Aldo should retire. Yeah, he's at a weird spot, man. It's kind of, I guess it's up to Aldo, whatever he wants to do. If he wants to continue fighting, I still, see him as top 5. It's just, at 45 or even 35, him being a champion, it's just tough right now, man. There's killers at that top. Yep. Aldo should retire. Yes, no more IVs. Yeah, there's no more IVs. Aldo to lightweight. Right now that kind of seems tough, though. I think if anything, he would go back up to 45, because going down to 35 and then jumping up to 55. I would be interested to see some matchups, but I don't see him doing that. Those guys at 155 are just too big. Yep. Aldo ain't winning the title again. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Obviously, Aldo's Aldo. I think he can do anything in the world, but it's very tough. Aldo versus Cruz makes sense. Yeah, Classified. I like that. I think that'd be a great fight, man. I think stylistically that's interesting. So maybe that'd be a good fight, especially for Dom too, man, because that's a big fight for him. I know Dom's at a place in his career where he wants to, to fight, big fights, big name fighters. So great idea. I love that one. All right. So we got Max versus Volkanovski. Straight off tops, Max got robbed, in my opinion. I'll start there. I had the first round, Max doing great, man. Clipped him with a right hand and a head kick. So he stumbled Volkanovski twice. Max did a great job making adjustments from their first fight. Max was checking kicks. Max was getting out of the way of kicks more. And though, one of the best things that Max did last night is every time Volkanovski would kick him, Max would kick him right back. So point for point. So Max did a great job there. Max did a great job in and out. He didn't just stand there right in front of him. First 2 rounds, Max dominated, was kind of looking like kind of tooling Volkanovski. The 3rd round was close. I still think Max, did enough points in and out, more of the damage. And the 4th and 5th round, Volkanovski really started pushing on the gas, pushing. He got some takedowns. It was still very close in the 4th and 5th rounds. And you could say Volkanovski, pulled those away, but it's still, at the end of the day, it was 3 rounds to 2, in my opinion, for Max. And man, and the judges scored it for Volkanovski. That's a tough one for Max, dude. I mean, that's he didn't win the title. He lost the rematch. So, where does Max go now? He's not going to get an immediate rematch. That's 2 losses on paper to Volkanovski. And it just shows again, man, judges messed that one up. Horrible, horrible. And I think, what do you guys think? Okay, we got robbery, 3 rounds Max, 3-2 for Max. Max was robbed. True, robbery. Max won. Max got robbed, robbery. Yeah, so I think 90+% of everybody on this channel, on this live stream right now, agrees Max won. So that just sucks, man. That sucks for Max, because I see he wanted it last night. I see he put the adjustments in, and he had a great performance. Like, that's one of those things in this game where I think Max did everything correctly last night, and he came up short, man. He came up short, and that's sometimes the way the game goes, guys. Yeah, who does Max fight next? I mean, that's the question. Where does Max go? Does he go up to 155? Does Max kind of go back and try and fight some of the contenders again? Try and, even if he beats, who is it, Zabit? Let's say he beats Zabit, and let's say he beats Yair or something. 2 top 5 guys. I mean, do you give Max another title shot? Do you wait to see if Volkanovski loses the title anytime soon and then maybe give Max another title shot? Either way, it just seems to me for Max, it's going to take a while for him to get back in title contention or to get that belt, which kind of sucks. Because I still think he proved last night, man, he just beat the champion. And, man, he doesn't have anything to show for it. He doesn't, besides the respect on the streets, I think a lot of people thought Max won. Yep. So Max can fight Stevens. Yeah. I mean, that'd be a good fight. They already fought once. Max is in a bad position due to the judges. Yeah. Again, I don't know what the judges were thinking in the fight last night with Max. I really don't. I don't know. Dan Ige, give Max Dan Ige. Well, Dan's fighting Kelvin Cater this Wednesday coming up, so we'll see who wins that one. Yeah, so I mean, Volkanovski's on top right now. So how long do I see Volkanovski being on top? I see him for a little while, I don't know. He's only fought Max, you know what I mean? I guess he's beaten Mendez. He's beaten some other guys, but we'll see how he does against some of the top 5 guys. I think Max did a great blueprint on how to beat Volkanovski last night. Keep that range, come some uppercuts, some head kicks. Just stay out of the way of those big punches. Yeah, so I think it's interesting to see how Volkanovski will do over these next couple of fights. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Maybe Zabit would give him some trouble, but Zabit, he seems to me so far he's a 3-round fighter. I don't know if he can go 5 hard rounds. So Zabit versus Volkanovski is interesting to me. So yeah, we'll see though. We'll see. Yep. So Arnulf says I replied to his comment. Thank you. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure, guys. I do my best to get back to everybody on this channel. Support you guys and be able to connect as much as I can. So yes, anytime, my man, anytime. Liam says, respect on stepping in that cage. Thank you, Liam. Thank you, man. I think that goes to show for all fighters last night, man. Anybody that steps in that cage, anybody that with all this pandemic going around is going to jump on a plane, fly to Abu Dhabi, take a bunch of tests, sit in a 48-hour quarantine in your room, cut a bunch of weight, go step on a scale, take some more tests, then go to a venue out in the middle of nowhere and step in a cage and fight for your life, basically. I think, man, I applaud all those guys. I applaud all those guys and girls last night. Props to them, man. Props to them, because no matter what anybody says, win, lose, draw, everybody giving their opinions, that's gangster. That's gangster, and I think everybody on that card needs to hold their head up high. So, yes, man, respect. Thank you, Jessica. Jessica says you do a great job on this channel, man. Thanks for taking the time. Yeah, thank you, Jessica. Thank you for chiming in. I appreciate the support. This channel's gonna be, it's getting bigger and bigger. I got big goals for it for all of us. So let's get it. So what do we got? We got Jorge versus Usman, the main event. What did you guys think of the main event? On paper, I thought this fight was gonna go like this on paper. But I thought, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go with the underdog. I'm gonna go with Jorge coming in, keeping that range, sticking them, bop, bop, bop. And I thought for some reason, I just felt that Usman was gonna want to strike with him more. But again, as I think Usman started getting, tagged up on the feet, he kind of felt, the kicks, everything, and he clinched him up, put him against the cage, went for takedowns, controlled him on the cage. He landed some takedowns, didn't really do anything on the ground. Jorge defended himself very well, got back up to his feet a little bit. They spent a lot of time on the cage, and Usman grinded him out for a decision. So congrats to Usman. I was pulling for Masvidal, but Usman played it safe. He did a great game plan, and that's the game plan and the blueprint to beat Jorge. Is just kind of grind him out, make it a boring fight. Yeah, I guess you can say boring, but he won. And I think that's the main goal, whether you're boring or not, just to get the W. And he did last night. So congrats to Usman, man. Congrats to Usman. I thought Jorge did great in the beginning. First round came out hard. And, because a lot of people were like, oh, Jorge's conditioning. He took it on 6 days notice. Well, look, here's the thing, right? Jorge was training. Jorge was helping out Dustin Poirier. And yes, maybe, he could have done a little bit more training wise, right? Maybe you could say that, but it doesn't matter. When you're getting into fourth and fifth rounds, you're going to be tired in those fights. And I think Jorge handled it great, man. I think his experience really helped him out in there. He didn't panic. He stayed like this the whole fight. I don't think there's ever a time where he just was gassed out. And I think his conditioning was good. I just think that Usman did what he needed to do to win. He put him against the cage, got takedowns. I don't want to say stalled, but he just controlled. He controlled a lot. What do you guys think? Highlight of the fight, foot stomping. Yeah, he did do a lot of foot stomping, man. Masvidal was loving it. It's in his job. Respect to both fighters. Yeah, I agree, man. I think Masvidal was having a great time in there. And I've seen Masvidal saying that he wants to run it back. So it's cool to see Masvidal hungry, just motivated, wants to get back out there, wants to continue fighting. For sure. Usman is very smart. Kyle says he plays Myles on UFC 3. Nice, man. Nice. It's dope, dude. Take a picture and shoot it over to me on Instagram, man. Cardio was insane, says Jake. Yeah, man. That's a heavy pace, 5 rounds. And I fought where it's a kickboxing fight, and then I fought where it's a lot of grappling fighting. And grappling fighting, man, is more tiring. Trying to defend takedowns or get takedowns for 3 rounds, let alone 5. Man, I think both guys were tired in the fight, to be honest. Usman every round was just hands on the cage. But that's the fight, man. You're going to be tired, and they continue pushing through all that adversity. Kyle says the Nigerian NyQuil. That's a good one, man. That's a good one. Yep. Great fight. He's boring. Yep. Christopher says the autograph giveaway. Yes. I seen everybody's comments. We're going to be giving away something on 30,000 subscribers. So tell your friends whenever we get to anybody that hasn't subscribed, let everybody know so we can get to 30,000 sooner than later. And we're going to be giving away something. I'm thinking gloves or something, maybe some cool gloves. And everybody that's telling me to give away a rental property. I love it. I love it, man. But yeah, we're going to be doing something, Christopher, for sure, once we hit 30K. Adam Hassan. coming in. He's got another great question, guys. Let's see what he has to say. When should you turn pro if you start training at 18? Is it too late to get into the big leagues? Adam, if you're 18, my man, you're young. You can do anything you set your mind to. I mean, why would you ever think 18 is too late? No, man, 18 is a perfect age. Even if you start training at 18, you're still, I would say 2 to 3 years of training full time, 5-6 days a week with good team and putting in that work. 2 to 3 years of training before you start fighting. That's me personally, is what I would say. But it just becomes up to you, Alec or Adam. It's up to you and your team. When you're ready, talk to your coaches. Your coach should say, Adam, you're ready. We want to get you a fight. Or your coach should say, Adam, you need more time, man. We need you to training more. We need you maybe doing some grappling matches. So talk to your coach, Adam. And if you don't have a coach, that's your number one mistake right there. Amateurs don't have coaches. Professionals do. Get a team, Adam. And 18 is super young, man. Super, super young. Great question. I put Usman fights so my baby can go to sleep. Oh, man. You guys got the Usman jokes today, huh? Masvidal never had a chance to sleep Usman. He's no Ben Askren. Yeah, I mean, he didn't hurt him really much. I mean, he cracked him a couple times, but he never dropped him. He never had Usman in any type of crazy desperation or possibility of losing the fight. But I think a lot of people are agreeing that Usman, it was a boring fight. You know what I mean? So I guess that's one thing. Usman's a great fighter, but that's one thing I think people are going to mess with him on, is just saying he's boring. But that's how it is, man. When you're a fighter, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're the best fighter in the world. Critics will always try and find something to critique you on. I mean, look at Floyd Mayweather. This guy is undefeated, has beat everybody, has just done the most amazing things. But people will still say, Floyd, you're boring. Floyd, you lost to this guy, really. This was a bad call. Floyd, you're just bad for the sport. Like, the critics are always going to say something to try and break you down. It's just the way it is. And I think that's one thing for Usman right now. I think the critics are just going to say you're boring. But he's winning, man. He's winning. So I'm interested to see what's next for Usman. So, all right, guys. All right. That is the UFC. Oh, wait, hold on. Actually, two more things about UFC 251. The press conference. So White said that Dana White said that Paige needs to test free agency. So that kind of tells me that they're not going to look to resign her. I wonder if it's more or less because they don't want her, or because they just know they're not going to give her the money that she wants. And they're trying to just kind of be like, you can just go ahead. We'll continue on. So I thought that was pretty interesting during the press conference. And then also, I don't know if you guys watched it, but last night in the press conference, a reporter asked Dana White, Dana, there's been a lot of talk about fighter pay, and recently the fighter pay structure of show money and win money, people have been talking about getting rid of that. Do you think, or have you thought about changing the pay structure and getting rid of the show and win money? So basically saying, have you thought about just paying fighters one flat salary? And I could tell when the reporter asked that, Dana acted like he didn't understand the question. Like, he was kind of like, what? I don't get it. I don't get it. And the reporter asked it a couple of times. And then Dana just basically said, I haven't thought about it. And then they went to the next question. So it's just always interesting to see when the fighter pay questions come up. I think Dana does a great job on nullifying them. But I don't think Dana's open to getting rid of the show and the win structure. And I don't even think Dana wants to talk about fighter pay. It's not something that he's really interested in right now. And I thought that interview was kind of showed that. I mean, the guy straight up asked, what are your thoughts on getting rid of the show and win money and just having like a different pay structure for the fighters? And Dana just acted like he didn't understand the question. And then he basically answered by saying, nope, I haven't thought about it. So I thought that was pretty funny. Finna said he's good at concealing his anger. Dana gets so angry when they start talking about fighter pay. Yeah. I agree, man. So I thought that was interesting. So before we end the live stream today, guys, I wanted to give you 3 tips on how to invest in real estate, getting started. We love real estate at this channel. We love talking about our finances, getting our money right. And 3 tips for you. And these are like action steps, right? So I'm not just going to tell you, study and learn. Let's say you already have been watching this channel, you've read books, and now you're ready to actually start taking some action for investing in real estate. So step number 1, check out your credit, get your credit right. Because one of the best reasons to invest in real estate is what they call leverage. So meaning I can go to a bank and I can say, look, I want to buy this house. And the bank will loan you 80% of the value of the property. So the property is $100,000, let's just say, and the bank will loan you $80,000. But to do that, to get somebody to loan you money for a real estate investment, you have to have good credit. So check out your credit, man. Check out and see if do you have any delinquencies? Do you have any outstanding bills you need to pay? Anything to get your credit score above 700 and 700 and higher, I would suggest, because some of us are not going to buy houses out or real estate out in cash, right? A lot of us starting out, we don't have a lot of money. And one of the best ways to get into real estate when you don't have a lot of money is to get a loan, go to a bank, go to a mortgage company. And they all start with looking at your credit. Eddie the Blasting coming in. Eddie's a former champion as well. Just got here, but I think some fighters would eventually want to renegotiate after some fights, so salary might not be attractive. So Eddie, some fighters would eventually want to renegotiate after some fights, so salary might not be attractive. So it kind of depends, right? So if you're on a show and a win pay or a salary, after you fight, you're going to want to renegotiate whether you're on either pay structure. So I think that it's kind of the same thing, whether you're on a salary or show and a win, Eddie. I think you're going to want to renegotiate regardless after some fights. So that's my take on that. I think renegotiation is always going to be there, whether you're getting paid a flat fee per fight, whether you're getting paid monthly, or whether you're getting paid just to show up and paid to win. So shout out Eddie. Right? All right, so point number 1 for getting into real estate, guys, is get your credit right. Make sure you have a good credit score. Take care of your stuff on your credit. All right? Number 2, and this is probably the most important part, is figure out your price point. What do you want to two parts of this. Figure out your price point. How much do you want to pay for your property, right? I mean, that's a starting point. Do I want to spend $100,000 on a property, or do I want to spend $200,000, $300,000? So what is the property going to cost you? And then secondly, how much money are you going to put into the deal? So if my property going to cost me $100,000 and I'm going to buy it out for cash $100,000, or is my property going to cost me $100,000 and I'm going to put down $5,000? That's the money I'm bringing to the table. Because you can do that. You can do a property that costs you $100,000, guys. You can put down as little as 3.5%. That's $3,500. That's called an FHA loan. I'll probably do a video on that, so it gets a little more specific. But step number 2 is figuring out a price point and figuring out how much money you're going to get put into the deal, because that gives you a target, right? I'm looking for a house that's $100,000, and I'm going to put down $3,500. Well, I got to save up $3,500. This gives me a goal to start working towards. I need to start looking at properties. I know my price point. So that's the step number 2. Figure out your price point. And step number 3, guys, is take some action. And what do I mean by this? I mean, talk to a loan officer, a mortgage company, talk to a realtor. Go get in your car and drive around and look at houses. If you don't have a car, go walk down your neighborhood and look at houses. Look at houses for sale. Start taking action, because you can talk about it all day long, but until you actually get out there and start talking to real estate companies, talking to realtors, talking to insurance companies, picking up your phone and calling a mortgage company. Hey, I'm Myles Jury. Can I come in? I want to talk to you about getting approved for this mortgage. Oh yeah, sure. Come on in at this time. Bring your ID with you. Bring your credit report with you, and let's set up a meeting. So three ways to get started in real estate. I've done them all personally. I wanted to send those to you guys, and yeah. So, Adam coming in. Adam Hassan. Thoughts on Mike Perry incident? Oh man, I love the questions, Adam. I love the questions. Mike Perry incident. I don't think he was right for sure. I think he could have handled that a lot better. Being a UFC fighter, I feel like you're always going to be at fault when you're with some guy on the street. I did think that the guy initiated it and came at Mike, and so Mike kind of was protecting himself to a certain point. And I think Mike's got a lot of issues he needs to deal with, and there's his own personal demons that he's dealing with. And I don't know what he's going through in his life, but obviously it's showing that he's got some anger issues. I don't know, maybe he's got alcohol, substance. I don't know, but it looked to me that he was very angry and he was out of control. And I think that's something that he needs to work on. I hate to see that happen to anybody, man, because I'm a fan of Mike. I think Mike has a lot of potential. I think a lot of people out there have a lot of potential. So I don't like to see him self-sabotage himself. So, man, sending some blessings and some prayers out to Mike Perry for sure, man, for sure. And he's got a lot to learn, and he's going to take a lot out of the whole situation. Like, meaning he's gonna deal with a lot of people coming at him now because of what he was saying, what he did. It just wasn't a good look for Mike. Wasn't a good look at all. I think UFC played it off perfectly because they basically said, Mike, he's going to have to get substance abuse classes. He's going to have to get treatment. He's issued an apology. So I think UFC is basically saying, we're not going to release this guy. We're going to keep him, which is crazy because UFC, if that was any other fighter or if that was a lower level fighter, they would make a statement out of him. They would say, he's fired. He'll never, we're aware of the incident. He'll never fight here again. That's unacceptable. But because it's Mike Perry's hot right now. Everybody wants to see him fight. Everybody's talking about him. They dressed it up as, we're going to get him treatment. We're going to get him help. And he's not going to fight until he gets that help that he needs. So great way to do it for UFC. Eddie, the Blassin, coming back in. He's got a real estate question, guys. I love it. I love it. Is it better to buy multi-units or a single unit to flip? Eddie, great question. So my question would be, or my answer to that would be, what's your experience? What's your game plan? I think both work well, Eddie. It just depends what your experience is and what your game plan is. You can make money off buying a duplex or a 4-unit, which is basically 4 living corridors, or you can buy a single family home and you can flip them and make money regardless. I don't think it's more or less about which one's better. I think they're both good. I just think the real question is, Eddie, is finding a deal that is under market, that you can purchase, that you can fix up, and you can sell for a profit. So that's the question. What are the numbers? What can you buy this property for? How much work does it need? How much money you're going to have to put into it? And ultimately, how much can you sell it for? So you got to run your numbers, Eddie, and you can make money off of multi-units or a single unit. Yeah, and that's another thing, Eddie. If that's your game plan, remember there's 2 types of ways to make money in real estate. You can buy and hold, or you can flip. So when you buy and hold, Eddie, you're also looking at the timing of the market, right? Especially right now, Eddie, it's a weird time, right? You don't want to. The worst thing you would want to do is buy something and expect to sell it for higher in 6 months, and the market changes, and you bought it and it goes down lower. So timing the market when you're flipping, Eddie, is a big part of it as well. But great question. Great question. I love it. Do you buy apartment buildings too? So Jessica, I buy 4 units. I've bought in duplexes. Personally, I have not got into commercial. So anything over 4 units, Jessica, is technically, it's called commercial. And what that means is it's just it's a different animal. And when I get loans or I finance something on a property, the financing for a single family home, a duplex, basically anything under 4 units, the financing is different, and I like it a lot better compared to commercial loans. When you start financing commercial loans, it gets a lot, in my opinion, a lot more risky. So that's where I'm at. I'm still open to it. If I find a deal, an apartment complex that is below value and I can add some value to it, I can get the rents up, I can stabilize it, and I can get good financing, I would do it. But the markets right now, multi-units and apartments are so overpriced, man. So overpriced right now. But great question. Eddie the Blassin coming in. Last one, champ. It's Eddie the Blaze. Oh, Blasin. Thanks for all the advice. Got you. Eddie the Blasin. My man, I'll make sure I say that correctly. And I believe you might be the Super Chat champ today. I'll go back by. I'll check it out. I believe it's either you or Big Bill. Those are the ones. So, man, always supporting the channel. And Eddie the Blazian. I love it. Trying to look at your icon. But awesome, my man. Guys, great. It's Eddie the Blazian. Eddie the Blazian. He is still pronouncing it wrong. Max is wrong. Blazian. I gotta get something where you guys can call in, is what I need to do. Imagine how cool that would be, right? If Eddie could call up right now and be like, hey, it's Blazian. So yeah, guys, great chatting today. Great chatting today. Happy Sunday. We're going to be kicking out another video this Wednesday, so stay tuned. And anybody that stayed on the chat all the way till the end, man, it's great connecting with everybody. And I will be talking to you guys next week on our live chat, so don't forget. And also keep an eye out this week. Make sure your notifications, guys, are turned on as well, because I notice when I post the videos, a lot of the traction comes from people that aren't subscribed. The people that are subscribed, they I don't know if they're not getting notified about the video or whatnot, but make sure your notifications are turned on so you can you'll know when we post another video. All right, guys. Happy Sunday. I'll talk to you guys soon.